How I got into rowing is coincidence. I was actually doing motocross when I was younger, and a guy from my town came to my farm and asked if he could drive motocross on my track. And after a couple of weeks, we started to be good friends, and he was a rower, and I needed to train more during the winter time so I could be better at motocross. So I ended up training in a rowing club. And after a month or so, I was actually doing quite well in the rowing. So his father, who was the coach, he kind of put me in a boat and taught me a little bit of rowing. And yeah, well, it was quite fast because all the other guys was really good. They was already on a national team. So I had so good people learning me how to row. So I was learning quite fast. And yeah, I'm still actually just going to do that one couple of months, and then I was going back to motocross, and here I am 20 years later. The first time I noticed my asthma was probably in 2005 in the World Cup, where my lungs suddenly just collapsed during the race. Compared to my doctors, I probably had the symptoms a couple of years earlier. I was struggling a little bit, but not enough to think I was something wrong. I thought I was just tired from training and stuff like that, because your lungs can be tired, or you can have heavy time breathing because you're really tired from training. So I never did put any attention to it. So as long as I didn't know, I was more or less okay. But then we had to go through some checks because I was really suffering, especially around when it was cold, when I was training hard and go straight into hard training, and also when it was the grass, seasonal grass, because I got some allergy for grass. And then they found out about the asthma thing and allergic and stuff like that. So we used actually, I think, a couple of years to find out what's best for me, how to cope with it and stuff like that. It was a hard period. I had a hard time dealing with the asthma because in my point of view, I'm fresh, I can do whatever I want, nobody can stop me. And then suddenly I had to be smarter than that. I had to start thinking, I have to think about how I was warming up my lungs, how to breathe properly, and I had to take medicines, and I have to cope with the time zones to what I'm using. So I would say, like, the most important thing is to be even smarter. And I don't like to be that way, but I can't do anything about it. So I have to cope with it. And I had really good doctors, really good education in using my medicine and when to do what, stuff like that. And we do tests every year and more than once a year. But we also test new medicine in the good periods of my year to see if I can have better effect with using less medicine and stuff like that, because it's no point in just powdering on with a lot of medicine. You have to find what's the best for you. And I'm just pursuing my dream to see how good can I actually become. I think that's some of the big question is not putting up the goal. Your goal should not be winning gold medals or achieving fourth place or whatever. I think the main goal is to how good can I become tomorrow, and then the next day and the day after that. And then you can always have a dream of becoming the best or whatever. But I think the best guys in the world always look for to be better. I'm lucky I'm allowed to do it from my family, from my sponsors and stuff like that. And I also have such a good support system around me with the best doctors. Since I got some asthma and allergy things, without them I had to stop because I would not be able to cope with the training and stuff like that. So I consider myself as a lucky guy. When I developed asthma, I didn't change my goals. But I did have a new kind of challenge, and I like to call it a challenge. It's not a problem, but it's a big challenge. I didn't knew anything about asthma or allergies and stuff like that, so I was too stupid to actually have a limit on my expectations. So for me, it was just to find out what's wrong, how can we deal with it, and let's go on. To win 2 Olympic golds, I cannot tell you how it feels. I normally tell people that you have to experience it yourself. It's like asking a woman how is it to give birth, and she'll tell you try yourself and you will figure it out. I was kind of fresh when I started out, and I trained and trained asthma on me, because I used my lungs in so cold weather. I kind of wear them out in hard training, in bad air on the farm, working a lot, because I didn't know about the danger I put my lungs through, and I've been working a lot in like bad air and stuff like that. So I developed asthma because of what I'm doing. So the first Olympics I was quite fine. I was almost all the way fine in 2004 when I won my first gold medal. I didn't knew I actually had some asthma problems, but as long as I didn't know, it was okay. And then I got it, and it stroked me quite bad the year after. And then I used a couple of years to sort things out, and I think that's a hard thing, because I went through some rough periods. I was training during the summer, and I blacked out on the water because I was pushing myself so hard, and my lungs collapsed. And when you don't get air, you don't get a brain anymore either. So I blacked out during training. I blacked out during racing, and for a period I thought that, well, it's almost like high altitude training, so I'm just going to keep pushing on, and that wasn't too good because I was doing more damage to myself. But I think it's to look back on. I never look back, but if I will look back, I think it's a big victory for my doctors and support system that they managed to take me from being a champion, more or less fresh, becoming asthmatic, and then managed to put me back onto level and in the position to fight about a gold medal again. That's a big victory for health and for asthma stuff. So I mean, it's their credit that I was in a position to fight about the medal again. Asthma has never put me back from what I want, but it has held me a little bit back from how I want to attack things. So I learned myself that I have to be smarter than rush into things. Like I have to go a bit slower or start a little bit earlier than fresh people to warm up my lungs, warm up my body, take my medicine in the right time. So I have to be even more structured than a fresh young guy. But that also gives you an advantage in life. You have to learn how to be structured and follow a plan, a good plan. Because if you're going off the scale or the plan you actually put up, you will fail. So you need to learn how to structure your life much better. So that's a good thing. If I would give any advice to people who are thinking about doing sports, I would say that there's no limitation in what sport you can do. Find the best doctors, never take no for an answer, and be patient about finding the right medicine or the right procedure to cope with your asthma and allergy. I think that's the best advice I can give, because no one's alike. The medicine will affect you a little bit different from one to another guy, so you have to use some time to find out what's good for you. And you're your best doctor, not the guy with all the letters in front of his name. He can only tell you what he learned and read about and stuff like that, but you have to feel what's going on with my body and maybe take notes. That would be really good for you and your doctor to see what's happening when or not. If people think I should have the prize, I'm really happy to have it. If my job in 20 years to try to kill my body inspires other people. I think that means a lot to a lot of people, and I'm really happy it does. I've just been living my dream, and I had some issues to cope with, and I had good people to help me out, and I managed to go through it. So it's probably them who should have the prize, not me, but so thank you.